from the streets overnight, a male suspect is recovering in hospital after an attempted robbery in the city's West End. Police say a man allegedly armed with a knife and trying to steal a bicycle was confronted by the owner of the bike, and then a fight broke out. It happened on Dundas, just east of Bathurst, around 2:30 this morning. Police say the owner of the bike was able to fend off the thief with a knife sharpener. He had just gotten off of work at a nearby restaurant. The alleged suspect suffered serious injuries and was taken to Western Hospital. That's just across the street. Police are still working out the charges. The hunt is still on for two male suspects after a fatal stabbing yesterday. A woman believed to be in her 20s died after being rushed to hospital from Spadina and Kendall Avenue just north of Bloor. Police were called to the scene at around 4:30 yesterday afternoon, initially for what was believed to be gunshots. The two suspects were spotted running from the scene. The victim's name has not been released. The provincial Liberals are set to release a recording today they claim could be trouble for PC leader Doug Ford. Here's a live shot right now of the office of Etobicoke Centre PC candidate Kinga Surma, whom the Liberals claim may be at the center of this alleged controversy. But the Liberals are refusing to leak any details, and Surma has not answered any calls for comment. Surma has worked for years for the Conservatives, starting under former Mayor Rob Ford's watch at City Hall. Current PC leader Doug Ford says that he has no idea what the Liberals have, but is willing to look at any claims it may have something to do with the choosing of candidates. And here's where the leaders are today. Doug Ford will be in Tillsonburg, Brantford, and Hamilton. Kathleen Wynne here in Toronto. Andrea Horvath also here in Toronto and later has stops in Whitby. And Green Party leader Mike Schreiner makes a climate change announcement in Toronto. A council has decided the fate of a 250-year-old red oak that a North York homeowner wanted to chop down. The tree stays. The tree, which is located on Coral Gables Drive, is thought to be the largest and oldest red oak in Toronto. It stands about 24 meters tall, but it's the root system that's causing the problems. The roots have grown under the foundation of the house, threatening its structural integrity and potentially costing the homeowner up to $80,000. The red oak has been designated as a heritage tree by Forest Ontario. Also at City Hall, Toronto Council voting to use college dorms as temporary shelters. The city is opening up 400 beds at the Centennial College residence in Scarborough immediately, and another 400 beds at Humber's North Campus in Etobicoke on June 1st. Both of the contingency sites, though, will only be open until early August, and they'll be housing refugees. Since the middle of April, nearly 370 refugee claimants have entered the city's shelter system. The OPP have released just how many charges were laid during the Victoria Day-long weekend. This year, the holiday fell in the middle of Canada Road Safety Week. From May 15th to May 21st, OPP laid more than 10,000 speeding charges. 175 of those were street racing charges. Officers also laid more than 700 seatbelt charges and more than 400 distracted driving charges. Almost 125 drivers are accused of being impaired by alcohol or drugs. Coming up on Breakfast Television, we'll be speaking live with Sergeant Carrie Schmidt about those numbers and what they indicate about our driving behavior. Two Toronto police officers facing criminal charges after allegedly stealing and consuming pot edibles that were seized from a dispensary raid. The officers were on duty in January when the incident happened. The pair began hallucinating. One of the officers reportedly climbed a tree while in a state of extreme intoxication. The situation got so bad that a distress call was placed, but it went from bad to worse when a responding officer slipped and fell on a patch of ice and had to be treated in hospital for a head injury. The officers have been charged with attempt to obstruct justice and breach of trust. They're scheduled to appear in court on June the 7th. 6:07 will send it down to Winston and Devo next.